Alright, this video is going to be about making an album cover in Procreate using the iPad Pro. It's going to be a pretty simple tutorial. I'm going to try to guide you through it best I can. There is going to be other aspects used in it, like I'm going to use Adobe Illustrator to make the title so it doesn't look like it's just font that's slapped up there, and I'm going to use an app called Snapseed, so that way it's more saturated, there's more contrast, there's more detail. You can't really edit photographs with a good amount of detail and saturation and all that, you know, like it's not a photo editing app. Procreate's a drawing app, right? So we're going to use Snapseed for that. Alright, but it's basically a Procreate tutorial because we'll just be in those apps for a little bit of time. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, first we're going to start in Illustrator. I'm going to create a 3D title that's going to go along on the cover art. And this is how you do that. I'm just going to type out the title. Now I'm going to pick a font for it. I think this one looks pretty good. Let's just make sure. Let's just check some of them out. Now I'm gonna highlight it, kind of stretch it out, move it how I want it. I think I want this looking like stone that's kind of like sitting on top of each other a little bit, you know? I'm gonna put it like on a pile of junkyard scrap or whatever. Select it all. Make it a lot bigger. And as you see, when you do that, it turns it 3D. Perspective on them, and it'll really make it a lot nicer. I like doing that because you know it doesn't look like just flat text when you use the perspective. Play with the depth, play with the perspective. Doing these things just make it a lot nicer. Now I'm going to use this rocky looking material right here on it, I think. But it's a little too dark. We're just going to play with all these settings and see where we're at with it once we mess with them. You know, once you change any of these little sliders right here, it really affects it. And you want to go to 2048 because it's just a better look, a better quality. And guys, there's no real exact way to do this 3D font. It's basically just you playing around with the settings and figuring out what works best, you know. As you can see, it looks a lot better than when I started with it. And I'm just messing with the sliders on here, you know. And I might mess with the lighting option. But, you know, turning that depth up, it really helped. The perspective helped. And now we're on the lighting. You see, adjusting that, you can really see the shadow in the back. And it really makes the letters pop a lot more, you know. And I think we're getting there. It's almost there. I'm pretty satisfied with how this looks. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna airdrop it from my computer to my iPad so I can import it into Procreate. And you save it as a PNG file so it doesn't have a background. Now we're just gonna open up Procreate. And you want a 3000 by 3000, 300 DPI. That's what all distributors want as the maximum size. And when I say maximum size, I mean the best size, you know. That's what I always use. 3000 by 3000, 300 DPI. Now we're just gonna import in the photographs of the artists. And check these ladies out. Kelsey Lynn and Stormie Leigh, very talented artist. If you look in the descriptions, in the description of my video, their pages are actually in the description, along with the song, the music video to this cover art. So we're just gonna get the soft airbrush, and I'm gonna go around and erase out. Around the subject. This is one of the most time-consuming things because I like to make sure, you know, I don't cut nothing off. I get everything pretty crispy, you know. And you want to use the soft airbrush because you don't want it to be too straight of a line. It kind of has that soft fade, you know. Like if I was to use a hard airbrush or a liner, it would be too harsh and you would actually see the pixels, you know. Now with this hair, we're gonna chop a little bit of that off. That's fine. We can actually draw that back if we have to. I got an interesting technique for that, and it works pretty good. So if it doesn't look right, I can draw it back. No problem. Once we got it selected all the way around it where we erased it out, we're just gonna swipe down with 3 fingers. We gotta kind of make it bigger first. See, this is what I was talking about with the hair. Get the liner brush, create it on a separate layer, color pick the color of her hair, and just draw little strands how you see fit. And then turn the blur on just a little bit, not much. And that's it. All right, let's erase the next subject, Miss Stormie Leigh. That's my dog right there, man. Y'all make sure y'all go follow her. Make sure you follow her. Kelsey Lynn. And these strands we had to cut off, as you can see. Perfectly fine. You know, we can draw them back. It's not a problem. It looks natural too when we do it. You know, there's a lot of apps, and even like Photoshop, I've noticed it's kind of tough to cut the backgrounds out without like chopping parts off and messing the hair up, you know. I just find it a lot easier with this method. You know, you create a second layer, get the technical pen all the way, turn the streamline all the way up, and yeah, keep it thin. And you can use the the original picture, turn the opacity down, and create a layer in between the original one and the top one that you're erasing the background out, and draw the lines for the hair, because you can see where the hair is because you got the opacity turned down on the original image, you know. And it's pretty easy. And then you just turn the blur on for your hairs that you drew a little bit. Not much, you don't want to overdo it, so 1-2%. Color pick the hair. Sometimes you might have to create a duplicate of the subject and clip mask it on the hair and use liquefied push and blend it. But it's not always that you have to do that. Sometimes you can just draw it on. Gotta think outside the box here. It sounds like a lot to go through, but it's really not. Once you get used to it, you do it so quick, you know. Like I said, one of the most time-consuming parts is just, for me, is just erasing out the outline around the subject. Not doing all the detail work, you know, because I just want to make sure I don't erase nothing off, you know. Like right here, I'm going to try to keep as much hair as possible because I actually see it, you know, but you can't always do that. See, that's how we do the hair. And just line it up. Pretty good, doesn't it? Now we're going to turn that blur on just a little bit. See, 1%. That's all it needed. Just so it doesn't look like a harsh line. It'll actually look like it did before. Sometimes I like to create duplicates in case I manipulate things and mess it up. You know what I mean? That's why I got duplicates of things. Just a good practice to have. Go to Canvas, drawing guides, symmetry. It creates a line in the middle so you can know where to put your title and everything else so it's centered. Now I'm going to put my background. And there's a lot of editing that I have to do on this background. It's not quite how I want it. I'm going to duplicate the background and kind of manipulate the picture. You know what I mean? You'll see because I duplicated it, created harsh lines in there. And what I did was I just copy and pasted a section, and I'm using the soft airbrush to kind of blend it in. Soft airbrush to fix the sky too, to where it goes to the edge. I'm just going to see about where I need to put them. The reason I made a duplicate is because they might wind up with their arms cut off, being on the outside a little bit, and I might not like that and have to undo that process, and then I won't have those subjects anymore. And I'll be like, dang, now I got to erase them back out. So, yeah, I just always make sure I got duplicates before I go to editing them. And I just made them smaller, so I really can't make them bigger. I probably could make them bigger. It probably really wouldn't mess it up. Actually, I shouldn't do it too many times, probably, but see, it really don't change it. You would think it would, but yeah, this is probably a good little spot right here.
want it to look like it's a pile of junk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to kind of warp this and make that look like it's like sitting on top of it, you know? And where it connects right there, use the soft airbrush and kind of blend it in. And you see all those duplicate items. I got to make sure that isn't seen everywhere so it looks like it's the same thing. I'll be placing items everywhere, like cars and tires and stuff like that. So that'll help. Yeah, and I'm constantly looking back and forth at it, making sure everything is like proportionate with each other. You know what I mean? Like, things have to be placed a certain way to look right. You know what I mean? Now I'm just going to add these little highlights right here to make things pop a little bit. Small details, but sometimes the small details matter, you know? As you can see, I'm still not happy with where I place these two, you know, so I'm moving them around. Considering it. I mean, if I did that, though, there probably wouldn't be enough room for all the stuff that I want in the background. think it'll look cool if I put a bunch of stuff in the background, like a car, tires, a barrel. Yeah, we'll just see, what it looks like when I put this stuff. Yeah, just sit back and look sometimes. And I'm going to use Envanto. This is an app that I pay or a website that I pay for, a subscription to where I can use their digital assets. It's a great website. I think it's like $30 a month or something like that. But they have a lot of 3D assets. Like, look at this car that I'm about to get. It's going to be great in the junkyard. So we're going to get that, and you can even like pick the angle of it. You know what I mean? This looks like the perfect angle though, I think. So we're just going to put that in there. Yeah, because guys, you don't want to use Google Images. You know what I mean? Like, those images are copyrighted. You want to have a license, With places like Envanto, you got a license to use this stuff. There's all kinds of places like that, like iStock, and there's places you can use digital assets. Don't just get on Google and take an image. That's not good. It's one thing if you're getting like a parental advisory or something, but not for something like a burnt car that somebody created. Probably not the best idea. It is possible that they could pull down your image and then take you to court, for the amount of copies you sold, especially if it's like a t-shirt or a product, you know what I mean? Search something else. It's about what you search. Tire. That's a good looking tire right there, ain't it? It's all beat up. Looks like one that would be in a junkyard. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Just comment below. I'll answer them. Maybe I'll even make a video about it if it's a broad enough topic, But I'm pretty responsive on answering questions. I get the notifications on my phone. As soon as I see it, I try to answer them. Maybe we can find a refrigerator, or something cool like that. Let's just take a look. Every real bright, so I'm gonna have to change that. We'll alter that. We're gonna make it a lot smaller because it's way back here. Put it behind the little pile. You might barely see it, but you see, I picked a car because I got one to the left already, and I figure if I put one to the right, it'll kind of balance things out. I try to balance things, I'm exporting it, and I'm going to Snapseed. No exact way to do this, but I like messing with the details. I like messing with the drama filter, turn up the filter strength, mess with the saturation. Just look at the things that I'm doing here. Mess with the contrast, really brings out the shadows. Mess with the shadows. See, it looks way cooler now, don't it? But that's too much though, so see. It might be too much in the Snapseed app, but once we get it to Procreate, we're going to really manipulate it on every single item, right? So, it won't be too much in Procreate because we'll be able to mess with the opacity of each item. So, like that sky back there in the title, we know it's too much for that, but look at her abs on the left and look at the darkness of Stormie. It looks really good, the way the shadows are casting on the girls. And, the title looks kind of cool. The sky looks kind of cool, but it's too much. And, the junkyard itself, you kind of get lost in it. So we know that the opacity has to be way lower. So now that we're going to save that, and we're going to bring it, I'm going to merge the two girls because I'm going to clip mask it on just the two girls now. Watch. So clip mask it on just them. So now it's just on them, and I'm going to mess with the opacity just how I want it. Then I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to move it down to just one item. Mess with the opacity on it. See, it's not going to be too much for it. Maybe merge some of these junkyard items because they need the same level of opacity, right? You see how the junkyard itself looks pretty good right now. It ain't overwhelming like it was in Snapseed. So we might do it a little bit, but not too much like it was in snap, see. But yeah, I'm just doing it on each item, you know. See, that's too much. So we're just going to turn the clip mask. I'm going to turn the opacity down probably. It's important to keep everything on separate layers so you can manipulate each item. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what's the best course of action for this. Maybe just turn the opacity down real low. Merge it down. I see up top there's a faint line. I'm just going to use a soft airbrush to blend that up. Sometimes stuff like that happens. It brings out details whenever you use that app, you know, that you didn't see before. Enhances pixels, you know. Undo, you tap the screen with 2 fingers. It'll undo. It goes back pretty far. Merging the ones that I need to have more layers. You know, when I know I'm set, then I'll merge it, you know. I'm just playing around with this background a little bit more. I'm really not satisfied with it, you know. Is just do the background. So go back. And go to last settings and just do the background. See? Sometimes it takes me a minute. I look at it and I'm like, okay, what does this need? You know, you don't really want to rush it. You want to make sure you get it right. And sometimes I'll duplicate the whole project in case I mess it up. I know I got a duplicate of everything. You can see I'm just merging all this together. You know. this right here. It's good to stand back and look at it. You see it, her hand right here, how there's a white line. Take the soft airbrush and just, that's it though. Now I'm gonna save that. And that's the cover. Guys, if you like this content, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I release another video. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I appreciate everybody watching.